Hello and welcome to today's video. Now in today's video I'm taking a look at ONGC. Now I've chosen to take a look at ONGC as I believe a lot of people have got tricked by the results of this company. This is the numbers provided by the management were provided in such a marketing manner that ended up cheating a lot of people who are not looking at the financials in depth or do not have the knowledge to do so. Now coming to the video, I will take a look at the positives of the results, then the negatives, then my trading plan and the levels. So this is going to be a bit longer than usual as we're taking a deep dive into ONGC. Now coming to ONGC. Now ONGC's numbers which were released on 4th August were exceptionally well received by the public, I would say, because when they released it I could see all over social media, whether you go to X or whether you go to the news channels, the TV pundits are putting this is the best thing ever. ONGC is going to go up 5% tomorrow. I could see the same on social media. In fact, I only saw one other person who says they're doing trading who said that the results are not good. So that's the only guy who seems to know what's going on. Now, the reason I'm saying that is ONGC's numbers were marketed very well by the management, but when we take a deeper dive into it, once we look underneath, we see that the structural foundation is not that good. What I mean by that is, for example, when you look at the positives, on the positive side, the standalone profit of ONGC doubled. It went up by 112%. But that, most people are not understanding, is the standalone business. So the standalone business of ONGC is very strong, so the core operations are genuinely strong. Number two, which was really advertised, the profit before tax is the highest ONGC has ever had for a quarter in the company's history, which I fully agree. That was a fact, but that is again a standalone thing. It is not the consolidated picture. Number three, which was a very big positive, was crude realization jumped by 50% it jumped to 99.45 versus 66.13 per barrel last year. But this is basically because of the rise which we have seen in crude oil and all. The new well gas premium is really paying off. For example, the old wells of ONGC were heavily regulated, and due to that they used to sell 1 MMBTU at $7, and now the new wells, the gas, they're selling at 13.31, so that's a very good increase in profit for them. Then the new deep water well was spudded, and then they also opened in the offshore with BP, and they roped BP in for that. So these are the positives of ONGC, and this is what tricked a lot of people into thinking that ONGC has done extremely well. And this is what the market did not get tricked into. As if we look, results were released on 5th August. ONGC opened roughly 3% up at 9.15. By 9.16 it was zero. By around 10 it was negative. Why that happened and why it has fallen since is what the financials actually are. When we take a look at ONGC, the stock, it represents the consolidated numbers. It does not represent the ONGC alone numbers which are marketed. The consolidated profit fell. There were upstream gains, but downstream gave it back. For example, HPCL absorbed 12,265 crore in under recoveries due to government controlled fuel prices. So that was a direct loss. So what has happened in ONGC technically? ONGC's standalone company has made a lot of money, but the downstream business, which is HPCL, has gone and given a sizable chunk back to the people. For example, if ONGC earned 100 rupees, 70 as HPCL has taken, and so the net effect, the group level profit is weak despite the core business being strong. And that is what is going to matter for the stock people, because that's what an investor doesn't want. Okay, one part of the business is doing extremely well, but the other parts are sucking out all the money. Then it doesn't make sense to invest in the stock. Number two, production levels remain uninspiring. For example, crude is still at 4.452, gas is at 4.756 BCM, and these are largely flat when we look at it historically. Then also the mature fields are depleting at a very high rate. Number three, which ONGC's management again sold very well this time, and even the last time, that the partnership with British Petroleum, BP, is very good, but that actually to a serious investor who's looking at the fundamentals, who's bringing in a lot of money into the stock, looks like a bad signal, because yes, it is a partnership, but it shows that they have to now rely on partners to get organic growth, as that's not happening. So that is not good. Plus all of this production issues, this partnership also shows that if they without volume growth, what is happening is the earnings are now have become fully hostage to the price of crude, Brent and everything internationally. So that will end up affecting, because as everyone knows, we have the Iran war going on, we have President Trump every day doing something new and crazy. So all these things now come a bigger risk to ONGC's consolidated numbers than they were before. Then the next point is that the flagship deep water blocks are missing targets for over a year. For example, the target for the oil was 45,000 BPD. Right now it is just at 28,000. So that's a huge miss of a target. Gas is stuck at 3 MMS CMD, while its target was 10. So if your target was 10 and you only achieved 3, you're not doing very well. On your oil, if your target was 45 and you only achieved 28, you're not doing well. So this has put a credibility issue on the management guidance. Like in this video, I'm repeating again and again, the management did a very good job this result season for ONGC of doing a marketing gimmick and selling the numbers as being excellent while the numbers were not excellent. And this is, and even if we look at it historically, how they gave the targets, and those targets naturally, it openly shows they were unrealistic, but they were given, and that is what has affected. Number 4, the negative which people have not acknowledged is the windfall tax risk has not disappeared. This is crude realizations are approaching multi-year highs, and if you watch my short video which I had made 2 days ago for the RBI MPC, inflation levels are only rising, whether it's food inflation, whether it's general types of inflation across the Indian economy are rising. And what happens that historically, we'll take a look at it, PSUs are not allowed to keep extraordinary profits which have been made, and the government does that by using windfall taxes and everything, and that has not been priced in by the market and even the results. So that's another factor that long-term investors are going to be taking a look at. Number 5 of the week issues, negatives, there are a lot of people who are looking at this company in a serious manner, not in a manner of, yes, this headline has come on social media, CNBC or investing.com has put this headline, and the thing is good, is that these are peak cycle earnings. This is ONGC has really benefited as a standalone company from the rally which has been seen in oil prices. If this rally had not occurred, and the amount HPCL has sucked out, these results might have been a loss. So that is something most are not acknowledging. The rally is largely driven by Middle East geopolitical tensions. If the tension eases, which I don't think it will soon, but on the other hand, if the demand softens, which is already happening, then that will end up affecting ONGC's margins, and that will last longer than anything else. So that is something that a lot of the big investors, I would say, are pricing in, and is why the stock has not performed well, even though after they gave such a good number at the top, which sold the picture. Number 6, the rupee weakness. The rupee has slid to 95 to 96 per dollar. This does help the dollar revenue, but it will hurt on the forex losses, plus on the debt side of ONGC. So these are the fundamental reasons why ONGC as a company has not been able to perform in terms of stock price post these results, because I've seen a lot of people put that ONGC released such good numbers, it should have gone up, operator is manipulating. But it's not the operator manipulating, the fact is the numbers are not good. So now let's take a look at it from the technical perspective over how you should trade it, how I'm going to personally trade it, and what I'm looking for in the stock. Now coming to that point of view, me and my clients hold short positions. We entered shorts basically in ONGC as pre-results. I was already bearish, as I've been bearish on select fuel companies, but post this I saw the results and how it was marketed. I decided that on the 5th morning, post results, I'm going to go in and short the stock, as I believe things are going to go down for it. So entered shorts around 244 rupees, used the mix, entered via futures, entered via option sells by selling calls, and entered by option buys by also buying P. So it was a pretty heavy short. Now option buys have already, profits have been booked by me, and the futures and option sales are riding on and are in a very good gain. And even if there was a rise now, it really won't affect it because of how the entries have been done and everything. Now, what is my trading plan going ahead? Now, ONGC has a very, very important support level at 235 rupees. If it breaks this support level, that is when it's going to be going to 227, which is another very crucial support. If 227 breaks, then 222 opens. So my trading plan is going to be as such. Like as I said, I booked option buys on 6th August, basically because it reached my 235 target, which is number one, since the short was done at 244. Now, if it breaks 235, then is when I'm going to ride the futures short until 227, at which I will cut my futures trade also, take the profit, and then leave the options sells to continue. This is at 244, we sold options of 245 to 260 rupees, all the strikes in between that, and those are doing very well. And then I expect to continue doing well for the rest of this August series. This is the entry point was excellent, the way it was hedged was excellent, so all that has going to play a big effect and makes the chance of, even if ONGC has a dead cat bounce, giving back those profits nearly a very, very low probability event. So my trading plan now going ahead for ONGC in terms of FNO, my target is 227, but I'm going to wait for 235 to break for that. Then I will ride it till 227, take the futures, and that is only where I leave the option sales. The ones who have not traded ONGC yet, on a break of 235, a good short opportunity is coming. But since it's a bit late in the picture, this would be a better thing via option sales rather than futures or option buys, because the momentum might not be straight. It might be a bit gradual, as you've had a good move fall over 2 days. Now, coming to a bigger perspective of equity. Now, in terms of equity, I believe once ONGC hits 227 or 222, then it's going to give a dead cat bounce, and it's going to form a box range between 222 and 253. Now, within this box range, you're not going to get any clean move on the upside or the downside. It's just going to be two-way moves. So what I believe I'm going to be doing, once we reach that and these option sales have made their money, then I'm most likely going to go and sell the range for options. And then on the equity front, I don't think anyone should right now consider ONGC until, if you're considering for the medium term, above 253 can be considered. If you're considering for the long term, above 266. Until that happens, you're better placed putting your money in another stock that's actually going to give you a return and not going to keep you in a box range for God knows how long, or in a downtrend. This is, I believe, the primary trend of ONGC is going to continue going down, and I expect windfall tax thing to come up sooner or later, and that will give it the next push to drop further on the weekly charts. This is the daily on the weekly. So that's really it for ONGC. I've shared my view, whether it's from the equity perspective or the FNO perspective, plus the results. If you like the video, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.